Hello and welcome back to the series where I'm building the 14-inch Pilatus PC6 turbo porter. Very long name for a small aeroplane. So last time I left you with the fuselage and the landing gear and the rubber motor. So what I have to do now still, apart from the tissue covering, is going to be the wings and also the tail part. So just looking at how I have the plastic covered, I'll probably go with the tail plane first, and then also the vertical fin, which is here, and I just need to select some pieces of wood and start to do it. I believe there's no aerofoil shape to the tail plane, so there's no ribs. It'll just be the normal, basically the stringers, the thin bits of balsa. And there's also this kind of interesting end plates that go onto the wingtips of the elevator or the stabilizer. So that's also a little bit interesting. So I'll also do those probably out of 1mm balsa. So I'll dig out the wood and I'll start probably with the tail plane, and then we'll have to figure out how to put it then onto the plane. So follow me along on this one. And a bit of an update here. So I've already laid down and glued all the components of the horizontal stabilizer, which is very flimsy, very thin, trying to save weight of course out there. But on the other hand, as I was doing it, I was thinking when I try to cover it with tissue, it might warp very easily, because it's really very thin material. And I'm not sure how to do it, if I should then wet the tissue or just maybe glue it on and leave it and not wet it, not shrink it, because it's, even if I squish it down, I think this is really very flimsy, I'm going to say. Not completely square on top of it, but you can see it moves a lot, so it's going to be very easy for it to warp. So I've got to think about that, how to do it. Maybe just put the tissue on, get some flat pieces, and not even shrink it, because if it shrinks it's going to be very crooked. Anyhow, that's then the horizontal stabilizer. I've got also these end plates. I won't put them on until after the tissue is on, because if not it's going to be also very difficult. And then the next step is going to be then the vertical fin. Let's see how that goes. And let's see the progress that we have. I've already showed you the horizontal stabilizer, and the fin should now hopefully come off in one piece. And let's look at that. There it is. So also very small, very flimsy. As it's smaller and it has the three thick, I mean it's a bit thicker spars, then it's a bit more stable than this. I'm really afraid about putting the tissue on this. But anyhow, so those are that, actually quite straightforward, at least the build, and fun. So what I'm going to do next, we've got here the profile of the ribs for the wings. So I'm going to put some plastic over it, trace it onto the masking tape, as I always do. Put on some masking tape and trace it on, and cut out at least one blank, and then see how many I need. I think I'm going to do probably for the wing tips, it's going to be a little bit of a thicker one, but then for the inside ones it's going to be probably 1mm, which is the smallest that I have. Interesting, I don't know if you can see it, the design here has that this forward part of the wing is then planked. It says here 132/132 sheet, which I think is probably 1mm, but I don't have anything less, so it'll be that. So I have to also to build that design in there. One spar, it says here 1/16 square. I think that's also going to be 1mm, but that's probably 0.5 mm, and I don't have that. And then basically to build up the wing, two wings actually. As I see, there's the hydro, so there's going to be two wings, and then leading edge, trailing edge, and things like that. So I get with that, building up the ribs, and then seeing how it goes from there. So fun part. And now I've got ready the basic components for the wings. What I've done, I've got, I think it's 8 of the thin ribs and 2 of the thicker ribs, which are like 2mm and 1mm. I cut them out using the first one, and then I stuck them together with some tape, and then sanded them down, and I discovered it makes this kind of nice little design somehow, no? Like if you make it big, it'd be like a vase or something. But anyhow, so I've stuck them together and been sanding them down. I've got a little, let's say, spa example here. This is tremendously small, very small for my kind of comfort zone, which is good because I get pushed. And there we have then kind of the design. The front part of the rib, we can point it at it. Front part of the rib is a little bit lower because on that there should be this sheeting which is 1/32, which I don't think I have. I think there's like 0.5 millimeter or something, or 0.6. I just have 1 millimeter. So what I'll do, probably I'll put just 1 millimeter on it and then sand and sand again until I have it down. So anyhow, these are the ribs, left and right side, and I've got also leading and trailing edges. This is kind of copied off the plan. It's 2 millimeter thick and 3 millimeter wide and 16.7 or 8 long. I've got already for both wings, so one side can go there. And what I start to do now is start to lay down the bits and start to putting the ribs and somehow fix them in place, and step by step build up the wing. Once that is then set and everything, then I'll do the planking, the fourth part of the planking, and start with the sanding. So that's going to be one wing and then basically do the other one, right? So, and not do two wings that are the same, not two left wings or two right wings, right? That's the trick here. Anyhow, when I have the wing at least structure in place and I can take it off the board, I'll share with you. So let's see if I can handhold this and it's not too wobbly. So the left wing is done, at least the structure, not the leading edge reinforcement. And with one hand this is not so easy, of course. And actually these little angular struts, those are very flimsy. They're the narrowest I dared to put, or the thinnest pieces of wood I dared to put in. And I hope that it does give it at least some strength. It's in the plan, so it's not there randomly, evidently. So let's see if now, taking all this up, it unsticks. Yeah, and here is the structure of this is the left wing, with a thicker rib on the outside. I'll have to trim this down, this spar, and that's the structure. Now what I have to do, let's see if I can focus this. There on the leading edge part, it's wobbling, right? On the leading edge, there I need to put the 1 millimeter balsa and then sand it down to shape, which is going to be a big challenge because there's like 0.5 millimeter space at the most. But that's probably then the whole trick. So I'll probably sand down a little bit the leading edge, that it has a bit of that shape already, and then put on the 1 millimeter and then sand it down to probably less than 0.5 millimeter. So a lot of sanding, relative sanding, like not in volume, but relatively sanding to the thickness. So that is then the left wing. And then the right wing, I've only just laid it down, already there with the leading edge, trailing edge and the ribs, and still then the spar to go in and other reinforcements. Very flimsy, quite a lot of fun. And finally the wings are ready. So here's what it looks like. This is the left wing, and this is the right wing then, evidently. I did need to adding a little shim here for the dihedral. Now I have no way of actually doing the dihedral properly, so I'm just kind of guessing it. So what I did, I do have this rib a little bit crookeding, so it somehow, if I put it here standing it vertically, and now it's going to be difficult to do it, I stand the other one also vertically, and I've been sanding down the edges until they kind of match. Now they don't, of course, but they did on the flat table. So I'm hoping that also the dihedral, when I butt join them onto the fuselage, that it's somehow on the right, at the right angle. Right? I still have to figure out exactly where I'll go. I'll have to measure. There's this point, I don't know if you can see it, I'm pointing here with the wing, where the wing tip is, or the trailing edge is. So I'll probably measure that, and then from that perspective then glue it to the top, whatever the top is of the fuselage. The point is also to get the right incidence, not just the right, let's say, profile, but also the right incidence. I think profile wise it's probably kind of okay, like it looks quite nice, quite rewarding to see the shape and also the front part of the wing somehow come into shape. And it is, I mean, it is a bit flimsy of course, but for the little material that I'm using, it's quite sturdy. I would say relatively sturdy, and at weight it's at 1.2 grams each, 1.21 and 1.25, so under 1.3 grams each, which I think is not bad. And that's pretty much it. So the next step is going to be to kind of finish the fuselage. There's still the nose section here to be finished off, to put in some kind of plank in there. This is evidently heavy, it's probably due to the wheels and the motor, and then gradually it will probably be also to start to assemble it. Probably I need to put the canopy on, also I need to cut that out and assemble, maybe tissue and then assemble, and the tissuing is also going to be a challenging part. In any case, thank you everybody for watching and following along on this one. I'll take a break from this one now, and I'll see you next time.